Welcome back. You are still watching the Conversation Committee from TV360 here in Lagos, Nigeria. My name is still Nelson Ekujimi, and I still have with me in the studio Richard Adeyinka Emmanuel, CEO, Data Home Research and Communications Limited. Yes, we want to look at the inauguration of the 14th Pope, the 126th Pope. That's Pope Leo the 14th, whose inauguration took place some hours ago in the presence of the whole world. Yeah. And our concern here on the conversation is that looking at the trajectory of his predecessor, Pope Francis, whose concern was about the poor, the downtrodden, who sought world peace. Yeah. The new Pope, from his records, was once a clergy here in Nigeria. And he has even started by, volunteering to host the peace meeting between Ukraine and Russia, even in the Vatican. And the Pope has shown to the whole world that his number one mantra, from what I deduce, is peace, global peace. Even the war between the Palestinians and Israel is also something that
it is of utmost importance.
Yes, it's avoidable because of the human tragedy that has occurred.
That has gone on for too long.
Too long, yes.
And if it is something he can achieve, in fact, that will gladden my heart. This issue, if he comes in to mediate between Russia and Ukraine, you will see that, look at how Trump bullied Zelensky.
Even the Pope met Zelensky less than immediately after his inauguration. Pope Leo the 14th.
So that does not portray a man who wants peace in Trump.
Well, maybe that's Trump's manner of looking for peace.
So his own is just to grandstand and all of that. For me, I regard America as even threat to global peace. Because what you are interested in is people should come and buy weapons, you are instigating war, and through your
but
foreign policies.
The policy of the Trump administration in America is America first.
Virtually all of them, all the
everybody should
even look at Obama, what he did in Libya. So we can never have enough of these people. We need a third party like the Pope to help us broker global peace. It is important. Having America at the center of if we escalate, it will never go away.
But America is already from the engagements between Trump and Zelensky. They are making some inroads.
They will make some inroads once he's ready to make some concessions. Yes. But Pope will not ask for concessions.
No, Pope doesn't. Pope is a man of peace. He's a man of everybody.
He just wants both parties to sit down and say, why are you fighting? What can you give? What can you give?
How can we make the world a better place?
So we can have peace. And also, as long as we have Netanyahu as Israeli PM,
yes,
peace won't return to that.
Why? Why do you say so?
He's a man of war.
No, I disagree. The Pope can exert influence on him.
I agree. If he's a Christian, if he believes in Catholicism,
a Jew. I'm not sure he's a Christian. I'm not sure. But I'm sure world leaders, they listen to Pope, respect, the honor they give the office of the Pope.
It's good.
It's not something you can talk
for me, what is it that Israel and Palestine cannot sit down and agree that we have suffered human tragedy?
Catastrophe.
Oh, it is too much. At what point would you sit down and say, why are we fighting? Let us even solve
it's about land. You and I know that the land question is a cause of crisis all over the world. And even in Nigeria here, we see recently we had it in Osun State.
I saw a video where an American was saying that all the crises happening in the world today that Britain caused it during colonization, the land that did not belong to Britain will use that land. It will promise party A that land. It will promise party B that same land. It will promise party C that same land. That if you can do this, this land will belong to you. If you can do this. So And that extends to what is happening in Palestine and Israel now. See, it is about land, but there will always be options. What are the options to this killing? When can we stop it? If Pope will achieve this, I will be I will be happy. You know, if you have America in anything, you know that it will there will be crisis.
I don't agree.
For he just wants to sell. He just want to sell weapon. He just want to sell weapon. All our Tucano that we have been shouting, Tucano will keep Boko Haram. We bought Tucano with the money that is not there. Yes. We have not been able to defeat. Rather than saying that money, you see, sometimes that money.
But there are some agents in the world that will never listen to rationality.
But those agents are loyal.
How do you conquer such?
Those agents don't exist in isolation.
Yeah, I agree.
So there are interests that are fueling such people. So they are there. Yeah. And their own is to destabilize. Now, look at it. If you ask me, why should we have a strong military, for instance? Are we under threat?
What are we competing with one another
from our neighbor, who in Africa is saying, I want to go and take over Nigeria?
But those groups, those terrorist organizations that want to take over government.
That some people are funding.
Yes,
some interests are funding.
And they're also getting funds, you know, through forceful invasion, occupation, and you know.
But you know that interest to say, just go. We will fund you. We will supply you weapon. We will take weapon to black market where you can buy offshore and all of that.
Off the shelf.
Off the shelf. Look at it. Nigeria is not under threat from Niger. Niger is not under threat from Nigeria. Ghana is not thinking of taking over Togo. Togo is not thinking of taking over Chad. Africa is at peace. Leave us. Leave your strong military to your America.
Okay, what do you make of the war in Sudan, as well as the war going on in Burkina Faso, Guinea, Mali, in the Sahel region?
See, their own.
Where the terrorists want to have a base to control the African continent.
That is,
because of the resources.
You have said it now, that terrorists.
Yeah.
Those terrorists, they have agents. Yes. They have sponsors.
Funders.
People are funding them. Interest. And we can't rule it out from all these superpowers. They are the one that need. Africa does not have to import any resources. We have it here.
I agree with you.
Every resources that we need, we have it.
I agree with you.
If you talk about China just signed one to establish electric company in Nigeria.
Yes.
We have lithium that they can use
There's nothing on that.
So we don't import. Yes. We have everything.
Yes.
Now, if you have crisis in all those places, it means that those who need those resources, who want it at all costs, they are the one instigating the violence. They are the massacre, the killing of citizens endlessly and aimlessly.
But Richard, if you are saying that it is the voice of Jacob, but the hand of Esau, don't you think if we as Africans, if we put our acts together and see ourselves as one, because today, just last week, if you recollect, the British envoy lamented the security situation in the north, and he ascribed it to the crisis in Sudan as well as Niger. So, as it is now, you know, Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali have pulled out of ECOWAS because ECOWAS was putting pressure on them to return to democratic rule. Yeah. But because they don't want to return, they pulled out. And right now, they are saying they don't want to have any relationship any longer with France, our colonial masters. They are now found a new colonial friend.
And they are
having now the crisis on their hand is such that, like our people say, their crisis is now spiraling into Nigeria,
because we are neighbors,
into Ghana, into Benin Republic.
The fact is, if you give some Nigerians, if you assemble some Nigerians and you give them dollars to destabilize this country, they will.
I agree. There's no way
they will.
You have, and they are supposed to give dollars And they will
they
say
will
they
say
will never,
no.
it will never happen.
But if you assemble 12 people, you will see one in every 12.
In every
you will
12
see
there was
one.
a Judas.
You will have people
Even
that
in
will
the
say,
Bible.
if you give them money, go and attempt to blow Aso Rock. They will attempt it. They will know that they will not succeed, but they will attempt. So what we are saying is that Africa does not need big military. Africa just needs to use its resources for its citizens so that citizens become partners in the progress of the country. So it doesn't turn to we versus them. Once you create class like that, yes, there will always be classes in every society, but don't let the gap be too wide to the extent that some people won't wish other classes well.
Okay.
So I pray that Pope will seek to achieve peace. I pray he achieves it. We really need peace in the world.
Well, you cannot say it better than that. Once again, we want to congratulate the Catholic Church. We congratulate the Pope Leo XIV on his inauguration, and we wish him a successful tenure, as well as in his quest for global peace, justice, and harmony. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is how far I want to go on the conversation today. We've had a beautiful conversation. Till we come your way again next time, please continue to watch the Conversation Committee from TV 360 here in Lagos, Nigeria. Have a great day. Bye-bye.